In this video, we will watch Coach National Master Daniel Martian presenting a game in a class of advanced students.
It's Coach Daniel. It's my great pleasure to present to you this game. I played e4 at the first move. What we will learn from this game today, you will learn how to make an attacking plan after the opening and how to play dynamic positions in the middle game. Sicilian Defense. This is a sideline. It's called the Alapin Variation of the Sicilian. Black has two main options here. Knight f6 or d5 are usually the best. Black chose knight to f6. This is all theory, so I will not waste too much time on this. Bishop to c4, developing the bishop, short castle, and here black played knight to b6. Actually, the main line is castling. So this was the first moment in the game where I had to think. After knight to b6, white has two options, bishop back to b3 or bishop back to d3. Which one do you think is better? In the game, I think I played the correct move. Bishop to b3. As after bishop d3, there is a tactical problem. He has knight to b4 attacking our bishop. If bishop e4, he plays d5 and he will manage to trade his knight for our bishop. Or if we check on b5, he can simply block with the bishop, developing another piece. Certainly not what we want. And here black chose to close the center by playing d5. I don't think this is a great move. And we have to adjust ourselves with this new position with the closed center. Having a closed center means that we should attack on a flank, mainly with pawns. So I think white could play rook d1 in the future and start a pawn storm, like pawn g3, pawn h4, and so on, attacking on the king side. Especially since black will most likely castle on that part. Black keeps his options open by playing bishop d7, not showing where he wants to castle, on the short side or on the long side, proceeding with our plan. Although his knight looks pretty good on c4, it doesn't do much. It doesn't attack white's position, so we should not worry about it too much. Pawn h4, continuing our plan. Rook d1 is overprotecting the d4 pawn. This is an important pawn. This is the base of our central pawn chain. This knight retreat simply makes way for our queen. Queen g4 is what we want next, to attack the pawn on g7, so making room for the queen. Could be a nice maneuver. Knight e1, knight d3, looking at the c5 square. Let's remember black played b5, which weakened his c5 square, so we have an outpost on c5. Long castle. We switch our attention to the king side now. We want to attack where the enemy king is, and we just adjust our plan. It's no longer good for us to attack on the right part of the board, but where the enemy king is, that is on the left part on the queen side. And a4 is aiming at opening up the position there. Black played king b7, preparing rook a8, but I think here black missed a good chance. f5 was the way for black to proceed, inviting us to take the pawn. It wouldn't be good for white to take that pawn, since after queen takes g7, this would only allow black to activate his rooks and have pressure on the king side. So after f5, I would have probably taken en passant. Bishop takes b3, attacking the knight, and here the position is complicated. At least black has some activity and some counter chances on the king side. Open up the position, pawn takes pawn. We don't like enemies' pieces in our territory, so we kick the knight back. Same motive, overprotecting this important central pawn. And also our bishop was not playing, we connect the rooks. g6, I actually don't think this is a good move for black. We weren't threatening to take on g7 anyway. Queen f3, eyeing the f7 pawn. Black decided to go back with the bishop and defend it. And this is the crucial moment of the game. Pause the video, think for a minute here, what would be the best way to proceed. I'm actually proud of myself because I found the best move here, which is a knight sacrifice. Knight to e4. A spectacular sacrifice, which improves my position, as after pawn takes, bishop takes. This is a splendid position to play for white. All our pieces are attacking, Immediate threat is to play d5, discover the attack on the queen, and take the knight on c6. Black's knights are tied down there. Rook dc1 is also an option in the future. And for the sacrificed piece, white certainly has enough counterplay. Black plays queen a6, stepping out of that d5 threat. Rook d to c1, increasing the pressure, unpinning. Knight to d3, developing the knight, looking at the c5 square. There was something even better. d5 is what I missed here, opening up the position even more. I played the more quiet move, knight to d3, knight takes. Played in the game, we took, rook takes, and pawn to b4. Black played the natural move, taking the pawn with the bishop. Certainly not easy to find the right defense, but he actually had an amazing defensive resource. The only way for black to defend here was rook takes e4, queen takes, and now queen to b7, hitting our unprotected queen, and black will either trade queens or defend his knight with knight c6, and he will have the material advantage. Very difficult to spot, easy to understand why he played bishop takes b4, but now things are quite easy for white. We just take, queen f6 played in the game, rook takes bishop. What would you do here? Take the rook or give the check? The most forcing move is the best. Queen to d8 is better than capturing the rook, as after king a7, rook takes a5, black already resigned, he will lose the queen, checkmate to be followed quickly. What can we learn from this game? After the first opening moves, bishop b3 was the accurate way to go for white, closing the center too early. It's very important to make a plan and stick to it. This is what I did. I just wanted to play rook d1, g3 and h4, and this is what I did. Opening up the position. And here was the crucial moment where I needed to calculate and find the best move. The knight was not doing much on c3 anyway, so knight to e4, looking at the c5 square. So black probably has to take here what he played in the game. You see how important it is after the opening to make a plan, an attacking plan, to see where you want to attack. Usually you want to attack where the enemy king is, and white adjusted his plan from playing on the king side to opening the position on the queen side, and things worked out perfectly for white. Thank you for your attention. See you next time. Bye bye.